Now, study one. This first session of study has to do with the concept and the importance of law. At the end of this section, you should be able to know the meaning of law, what law is all about, know the characteristics of law, and know the basic functions of law in the society. Introduction. All over the world, even in the fairest society, there are laws. Now, it's no longer a news that where there is no law, there is bound to be anarchy. It is law that regulates how people behave, how they do things. So in almost all the societies that exceed in serenity, there must be law, do's and don'ts, things that are associated in that form that will make them behave the way they should. So it is in this concept. There are laws and law enforcement mechanisms, including sanctions, put in place to guide persons and bodies in the overall benefit of the society. So the main word there is the benefit of the society. So, like I said, where there is no law, there's bound to be anarchy. So in that concept, you discover that you cannot talk of law without talking of sanction. When you disobey the law, what will happen to that person? So that is what sanction is about. So there's always something that will back up the law to make sure that the law functions to control the society. So while a person desires absolute freedom to do or not to do whatever he likes, the state restricts absolute freedom in overall interest of everyone and society as well. If you allow people to begin to do things the way they want it, you can be sure that somebody will one day rise up and say that somebody that probably he felt not happy will not live. And of course, he can eliminate such life without anything because there is no law. But once there is a law, there is a regulation that controls whatever you do as a person, an individual, or for the interest of the overall society. Human conduct and almost every field of human activities is regulated by law. Yes, like I said it before, where law protects a right, there is usually a corresponding duty. In science, they say that like and unlike group are attached. They always go together. So also in law, you cannot talk of law without talking of a duty. So he has the responsibility. If there is no law, there will be no responsibility. So law brings about responsibility. So where there is no law, there will be chaos and anarchy. Therefore, the system of law and law enforcement agencies are necessity in overall interest of everyone and the state. You cannot say there is law without having people that will implement this law. For instance, in Nigeria, you have the police, you have the court system. All those things are agency and agents that make sure that the law is functional. An administration of justice system, that is a law enforcement system, which includes the courts, personnel of law, the lawyers, including sanctions and a panel or correction system and the facilities, all are put in place. Like our prisons, we talk of these things are all systems of law. So we've been able to look at this introduction. I think it is very important that we look at different definitions of law. General law is a rule of behavior. The rules and regulations of a particular country. It can equally be said to be the rules usually made by the legislative arm of government, which order the way persons, bodies and societies should behave. Apart from their broad meanings, scholars try to define law, but no single definition. In fact, a lot of scholars have been able to put up their own ideas, the view, what they think about law. Not just one scholar, so many of them. So we are going to look, definitely in this course, we'll be looking at their own opinions, the subsequent criticism, and how some of those opinions turn into theories and they were able to modify them. But no single definition is authoritative and free from criticism. Yes, I have said this before, and there are as many definitions as there are so many scholars. It is not possible to give a single definition of law. The following, let's just look at the following definitions of law given by the various people. You can just look at them. American jurist, the neck, Hello, the lead that was 1893 to 1962. He says, according to him, it is what officials do about this case. That's what he defines as law. That's his own way of defining law. According to Hammer and Brookman, he said the whole reservoir of rules on which judges draw their decision. That is his own perspective about law. Like I said, these theories are based on the way this individual views the subject law. The third person is an eminent jurist, an Englishman, Sir Williams Blackstone. So in law, if you have not read books by Blackstone, you are yet to start. So this is an authority in law. It says it is the rule of action which prescribed by some superior and which the inferiors is bound to obey. You may look at his own idea, you understand that he is trying to opine that law is made for the inferior by the superior. That is his own opinion. Then also Professor John W. Salmon equally says that law is a body of principle recognized and applied by the state in the administration of justice. Finally, here we have is the policy applied that it is a rule which regulates how person bodies should behave. Law is a code of conduct of persons, bodies, and society in general. Can we look at the next slide? Now, law has a lot of characteristics, just like we talk of in life, we say characteristics for human being. He breathes, he does this, and he makes a movement. So law. There are things, once you are associating with law, you can now pin them down and say, this is a law of a society or a law guiding the people. For example, law is a collection of rules, remedies, sanctions. Mark these words: rules, remedies, and sanctions, as the case may be. Now, when you talk of rules, you're talking of regulations, things that are given, which must be obeyed. We talk of remedies. Remedies are those things that you expect to receive in return once your right has been impeded upon or freed up. So those are the remedies that when you complain, or maybe a complainer say that somebody did this against me, he stole my money. What is the person expected to do? Probably to pay back the money to that person. That's a remedy, kind of money. There is sanctions. If you don't have a sanction, you've committed a crime or something and nothing was done, and it means that law does not have a biting power. So it is the sanctions that makes law what it is. It is sanctions that makes law biting once somebody goes against it. So law is a collection of do's and don'ts or nots. Law prescribes what a person should do or not to do. It is usually made by a legislator, or by a delegated legislator or other lawmakers, according to the system of government or legal system that is in place in a given country. It can also evolve from custom. Now, these are the characteristics. I think the later part of the course, we are going to deliberate learn more on the sources of law. Sources of law will always elaborate and tell us how laws are evolved and how laws are formed. Now, the functions of law. It acts as a code of conduct, rule of action to ensure that person, bodies, or society live orderly, peacefully, and a peaceful life. Like I said before, if there is no rules, no regulation, people will live anyhow. But this law is what regulates conduct, what protects peace in the environment, and make sure that people are habitually living together as friends, as family members, or simply members of the community. So it's a means of resolving dispute peaceful, and it administers justice through the court system. So law does a lot of function. You can look at this, say the specific structure, framework, and order of all aspects of life, society. Be it the structure of government, business, so forth. A lot of things. Talk of the budget. You cannot talk of budget implementation without having a law backing it. In fact, all aspects of government is backed by law. Anything that you do that is outside the law is not in existence as far as a state is concerned. It acts as an instrument for regulating society, prohibits what is wrong, lawlessness unlawful. It creates law enforcement agencies, institutions, and all this. For instance, when I was coming to the institution, I was stopped at the gate, and I had a lot of queries. Where are you going to? The regulation says before you pass through this gate, they will ask you to identify your destination. And that is the law. If you refuse to do that, you will go back. They will not allow you. So that is the law guiding this environment and is put in place. And like you are in school, there are regulations. Regulations pertaining your admission, regulations, those things that you are required to meet before you graduate. So if those regulations are not, if you fail to reach or achieve them, it means the sanction against you will be that you will not graduate. So it is very, very important. So it grants remedies and justice to those who have been wronged. I said it before. Law is the collection of rules, remedies, and sanctions. I go to the next slide. Other functions of the law includes law stipulates the structure of governance of a state. Like in Nigeria, we run a constitutional state. There are some countries that run theocracy, the kind of government they run, some run, all manner of government. It is what they are not. Like, for instance, there is in some democracy, you find out that the tenure of the executive is 6 years. But here in Nigeria, the tenure of the executive is 4 years, as contained in the Constitution of Nigeria. And it stipulates what the government of a particular state will look like. It protects the citizen from government. For instance, the Bill of Rights. Now, it's a common saying that power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. You find out that when men get into places of power, they are in this feeling that they are in charge. If you don't control it, they can do anything. They will determine who will live and who will die. But law regulates that by giving a Bill of Rights so that once the law is being given, the person that is the leader or the president, be the president or governors, will have limitations of his actions. Otherwise, the actions will no longer. So it protects minorities from majorities. It sets standard of conduct. It creates orderly change rather than revolution and anarchy. For instance, what is happening in the country today, you hear of agitation here and there. But if a law is properly in place and is being implemented, some of these things will not become a but when these things are not being implemented the way it should be, you are bound to see anarchy. It resolves disputes peacefully and in a civilized manner. It punishes wrongdoer. For instance, in criminal laws, if you murder, if you commit murder, what will happen to you? If you steal. So laws place sanctions, and those sanctions are a kind of discouragement or deterrent for committing such atrocities. So law does that. It generates revenue equally for the government through taxation. You talk of taxation, they are backed up by law. The next slide. Conclusion. This unit was this we have discussed and define the concept and evolution of law. It is important and is important to humanity. Sorry. We conclude by saying that ideal rights give birth to rules and regulations within the context of social structure. We mean social structure, we mean every congregation of people, say community, state, society. They are human structures. The purpose of any rule for a man in society is to help him seek the good, the common good, live in society, do good to others, and render to others equally what they ought to render to them.